So Dana White has just announced UFC 287. It might take place in Brooklyn, New York. That's kind of the theory right now. It's either going to be probably Madison Square Garden or the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. But they're thinking it's going to be in New York, as some of the April pay-per-views have been. It's either that or maybe like Atlanta or something weird. I don't know. But I think it's going to be in Brooklyn. Main event, Israel Adesanya versus Alex Poatan Periera 2. The rematch, obviously the second fight in mixed martial arts. I think their fourth fight overall. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a very good one. It's going to be their fourth fight overall over all combat sports. And if you say you're sick of this matchup, you're crazy. I want to see it a fifth time. I hope Izzy wins so we can see it for a fifth time, because I'd like the trilogy in MMA. And man, this is just one of the greatest storylines ever, I believe. I truly do believe that. And I think that Israel Adesanya, this is a legendary point in both of these men's career. And I think either one that wins this fight, Izzy might have to win the trilogy. But if Alex Poatan Periera wins this and closes the chapter on Israel Adesanya, it will cement his legacy. This is a legacy fight and a legacy-defining fight for two men right here. Adesanya cannot lose two in a row to the same man. If he does that, his time as champion is probably over. And for Alex Poatan Periera, he might have to win this fight to go up and fight Jamal Hill to avenge his teammate Glover Teixeira, who just lost at UFC 285 or 282, 283. That was a Rio de Janeiro. So he's got to do that to go make up for that. So a lot on the line for both fighters. Co-main event, Gilbert Burns versus Jorge Masvidal. The fight card's stacked. I think it has Ian Gary on the fight card. Maybe that's UFC 285. It's got a lot of fights on this card. I think they're also looking at trying to put a bantamweight championship on this fight. I don't think this card's done. I do believe they're trying to target a bantamweight championship for this fight card as well. I don't know if that's going to come to fruition, but we'll see. And also, you got Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Kevin Holland. Great fight right there. But we want to talk in this one specifically, Israel Adesanya versus Alex Periera 2. Their second bout in mixed martial arts. Their fourth bout overall. Obviously, the first two were in kickboxing. You know what I mean? The first one, I think, was in Rio de Janeiro. I think the first one was in Brazil, if I'm not mistaken, in Israel Adesanya. I think it was either in China or Rio. Anyways, that's not important to the story. Israel Adesanya goes into this boxing match, and I think he gets robbed by the judges. That's why I'm thinking it was in Brazil, because I do believe that he kind of said that, oh, it was Brazil, you know, his hometown, home cooking, you know what I mean? That's what I think he was thinking. And then the rematch obviously took place, I think, in China. And that's when Israel Adesanya got hit with the left hook. That was the first time he experienced that left hook powered by Alex Periera, and it was devastating. And it knocked him out cold. That's the coldest we've ever seen Israel Adesanya knocked out across any combat sport, across his boxing, kickboxing, and mixed martial arts career. Never anything else we've done. That's the coldest we've ever seen Israel Adesanya. Even at UFC 281, or yeah, it was 281, man. It's that's quick of a turnaround. At 281, when he got knocked out by Periera for the second time, it was not as bad as that fight in kickboxing. He got caught with a big left hand that absolutely floored him. But again, if you don't remember that fight, he was winning. And in the second round, or it might have been the third round, he hit Periera with some huge punches that also forced the ref to step in and give a standing 8 count. Not standing 8. There's no standing 8 counts in MMA. But we also saw in their first bout of mixed martial arts, in their first encounter in mixed martial arts, Israel Adesanya was winning the fight. And in the first fight, in the first round of the first fight, at the end of the round, Israel Adesanya sets up a huge right hand, lands it flush. Pereira's legs go. He hits him with a big left hand. Periera is rocked. And man, if it was not the end of the round, that's the standing 8 count. If that's not the end of the round, he's done, dude. That was a knockout. That was going to be a knockout. Israel Adesanya was about to chase him down, like in the Derek Brunson fight or the Kelvin Gastelum fight. Not like the Kelvin Gastelum fight, because he didn't get the finish, but he was going to chase him down, and he was going to get the finish. But that was his standing 8 count in the first fight in mixed martial arts. So if Izzy can land that punch, you know, earlier in the round, he wins that fight in the first round by brutal knockout. And then we all know what happens. The second round, Poatan Periera actually wins on a lot of people's scorecards, including myself. I had it 1-1. And I think in the third round, Izzy kind of used his grappling. Then in the fourth round, I think Izzy kind of outstruck him. Or those are interchangeable to me. I don't know. I'll have to rewatch the fight. I've rewatched the fight though so many times I just can't remember off the top of my head right now. But in that 5th round, Israel Adesanya looking like he's gonna cruise his way to decision, man. He's hitting the leg kicks, but he hits one leg kick and he goes rolling back, man. He said his perennial nerve was acting up. I don't know if I believe him, but that's to your own self to believe that. I don't know. Israel Adesanya, though, you can believe it if you'd like to, and it's also a fairly good representation, because I mean, it might really be what happened to Izzy. Might be why his movement was a little off in the fight. Even when he got rocked, he kind of was falling around, but you don't know, that's just because he's rocked. Anyways, he's going on in the fight. The fight's looking like it's gonna go well. Glover and Poatan Periera's corner is saying this fight is out of reach. You know what I mean? You gotta get a finish, man. You can't take this to decision. At the most, even if it's a 10-8 round, you know, you're gonna get a draw. To win this fight, you gotta go out there and you gotta knock him out in this 5th and final round. And in 2022, everybody was doing it. So in 2022, I think it was November, Alex Periera comes out there, hits him with a big, I think its first shot is an uppercut. I think it's the first shot's like a weird little right hand. It's a weird little shot. You see Izzy kind of back away. He puts his arms out, and then that is when Periera hits the big left hook. That's the famous one where Izzy's jaw looks all crazy in the photo where they took from the side. That is a crazy left hook shot. You just saw it right there. And that shot right there, that shot is when Izzy started to stumble. Then Periera did not let him off. He did not let him just get off with it free. He started going crazy and started landing big shots on Izzy. Izzy was trying to avoid the shots, man. He really was trying to avoid the shots. But then Marc Goddard stops the fight. So it's up to you guys to think if that stoppage was early. I know to Izzy, I think he thought it was early. If you're a fighter, you think it's early. You know what I mean? If you're that guy, you're always going to think that's early. You know, as a fighter in a title fight opportunity, you want to go out. You want to be knocked out like Kamaru Usman. You don't want to be running around and going, why are you stopping the fight? I still got something to give. But Izzy was very nice. He reconciled with the ref, you know, Marc Goddard. He realized, he's like, that's a good stoppage. He even kind of admitted it, you know what I mean? Which I thought was very respectable because, you know, Colby Covington to this day doesn't like the Kamaru Usman stoppage. When he was much worse. He was dropped. Israel Adesanya was not dropped. He did get hit with some big shots, and he stumbled over and he fell down, but he got right back up, and not a knockdown though. Israel Adesanya was not knocked down in that fight. And Izzy, I think he's still not knocked down, if I'm doing my math correctly. Thinking that Kelvin fight, he might have almost been dropped, and the fence saved him, but I don't believe he's been dropped. He's been TKO'd now. He's been TKO'd, but he's not been dropped. And I do believe that Marc Goddard was in all of it. I think he was fine with stopping that fight. I think that was a good stoppage. You know, again, not to a fighter. If you're a fighter, you wanna go out on your shield. You wanna have to go out in a rough way, man. You don't want to be just in there conscious. You know what I mean? But I truly think Marc Goddard had a good stoppage there. And then I think also we have a little bit of bias. You know what I mean? I'm not saying Marc Goddard's biased, but I'm saying you don't ever see Izzy hurt. When's the last time you've seen him hurt? The Kelvin Gastelum fight, before Israel Adesanya was champion and had all these title offenses over Cannonier, Marvin Vettori, Whitaker, he got clipped in that Kelvin Gastelum fight multiple times. That's the only time I've ever seen Izzy hurt in the way he was hurt in this 5th and final fight. Or I mean, you know, not 5th and final fight, but I'm saying in this first fight in MMA. That is the most hurt we've ever seen him, was in that Kelvin Gastelum fight. And I think it's kind of like Mayweather, you know what I mean? You see a guy who doesn't get hurt that often, you see him get hurt, just like Mayweather and Shane Mosley. It's kind of something you want to look out for, you know what I mean? And I think that if that was, let's say, you know, Glover Teixeira or somebody that takes a lot of damage, you know what I mean? If you're dealing with that, like if that's a Justin Gaethje, they're not stopping that fight. If that's Dustin Poirier, they're not stopping that fight. But it's so out of our minds that somebody like Israel Adesanya can get caught with these punches and hurt like that. We get shocked and we go, yeah. But I mean, if you were Justin Gaethje, would everybody be saying that was a good stoppage? Because I don't think so. I think if that was Gaethje, everybody would be saying, you know, that's a weird stoppage. Even with the Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje stoppage, some people claim that stoppage is a little strange to this day. But yeah, I just think we're not used to seeing Israel Adesanya hurt like that. My early prediction, man, I'm leaning Israel Adesanya. You guys can hate me, man. I predicted Adesanya in their first fight, and I'm predicting him again. I'm not switching over to the Periera bandwagon. So a lot of people before this fight saying, you know, Pereira's gonna win. Pereira's gonna win. That was kind of the motto. Pereira's gonna win this fight. I kind of believed it. You know, I knew the danger that Periera has with that left hook, but I just had to rock with Izzy, because if you go back and watch every fight, do your research on these fights. In that first kickboxing fight, Israel Adesanya is winning that fight. That's a straight up home cooking by Alex Pereira to get that win in that first kickboxing match. And in that second fight, Israel Adesanya is winning the fight, and then he gets a standing 8 count, gets gifted a standing 8 count. And then Izzy gets knocked out after rocking Alex Pereira. And then in that third fight, the first fight in mixed martial arts, Israel Adesanya is winning the fight, rocks Alex Pereira, and then he loses the fight with a big knockout blow. It seems to be how this happens. You know what I mean? It's like Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. You know, Tyson Fury is obviously the better boxer. I don't know if it's that you know, discrepant in this fight, because Israel Adesanya might not be as much better as a boxer than, you know, Deontay Wilder was. But I feel like Israel Adesanya has the advantage. I really do. A lot of people are saying Alex Pereira has the advantage. I don't believe that to be the case. Israel Adesanya is winning most of these fights until he gets hit with a knockout blow. Just like Tyson Fury in the Deontay Wilder fights. Tyson Fury's outboxing him. In round 9 of the first fight, Tyson goes down. Then again in round 12, Tyson goes down. Because of Deontay Wilder's power, that is what forced that draw in that first fight. And then in the second fight, Tyson Fury's boxing ability showed through. And then in that third and final fight between Deontay and Tyson, you saw Tyson get hurt multiple times just because of Deontay's power. Not because Deontay is the better boxer, but because it's hard to avoid that power for 12 rounds, and in 5 rounds for this case. But I'm saying, you saw that in the Tyson Fury-Deontay Wilder fight. Tyson Fury is the better boxer, and then Deontay Wilder had the power. You're going to see that, and I believe that's how this fight truly is. And Tyson Fury did prevail, but I don't know if Israel Adesanya can. Right now, my early prediction, I'm leaning Israel Adesanya. I just believe that he's going to be able to just stay away from from Alex Pereira for most of the fight. I think he's going to have a very calm performance, which he definitely should. He should definitely treat this like any other fight, you know, Jared Cannonier type fight, Robert Whittaker 2 type fight, Yoel Romero type fight. Don't engage with this man. But I'm saying, you know, who knows? We might see a very aggressive Israel Adesanya that goes out there to try and get the win in the first round. You might not see an Israel Adesanya that goes out there and tries to play the long game with him and take it to a decision. I don't know, because he has shown the ability. He can hurt Alex Pereira. And Alex Pereira, I'll rewatch every single one of his fights. His debut, oh man, I forgot the name of his debut. I think he fought a Greek guy. He got taken down and controlled in the first fight. That's going to be a huge storyline in this fight. Israel Adesanya is going to try to take down Alex Pereira. I do believe that. I think that, you know, you put a little bit of pressure on him. Obviously, you know, he's had a lot of time now to train in wrestling and grappling. Obviously, training with Glover, great man to grapple with. But I'm saying I do think that Israel Adesanya is going to try and grapple with him, because if you saw in that first fight, he got grappled, and then he hit the flying knee. Then in the Bruno Silva fight, that fight's very unimpressive for Alex Pereira. And we saw he had a chin in that fight because he got caught with a lot of shots in that fight. And then in the third fight with Sean Strickland, he was able to pretty much demolish him. So that fight got him the title shot. Go back and rewatch all of those fights. Those fights are great fights. Definitely go rewatch that. If you want to study up on Alex Pereira, you could definitely do that. So I've rewatched every single Israel Adesanya fight and every single Alex Pereira fight. And I can tell you, this fight is going to be very amazing, very high level. I still to this day think that this is the highest level of kickboxers we have ever seen in the UFC go at each other. I don't think with Anderson Silva, it was one kickboxer of that level. I don't think we've ever seen 2 kickboxers of this amazing level go head to head and fight each other. They're going to be putting it all on the line. It's a legacy-defining fight, career-defining fight, but for both men, a lot on the line. Let me know what you guys think. Who do you guys think is going to win this fight? Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.